The majority of interviews that we see with athletes seem to go badly. They're boring, they're filled with cliches, they're not really engaging to anybody, the interviewer, the interviewee, or the people watching it. Let's figure out maybe what goes wrong and how we can maybe fix a little bit of that. That's what this module is going to be about. So, part of our challenge is the athletes themselves.
Why? Why do we stand in hot, smelly dressing rooms to get interviews with hockey players after a game? All we get are cliches and generic hockey rhetoric.
That's hockey. Sometimes you don't always get to achieve the stuff you want to. There's a lot of other teams that want the same thing.
Give them credit; they played extremely well too. But
they're a great team. We battled hard today, but
Sometimes the problem's with us.
I not found the best fighter in the world? You tell me.
Because you retired?
No.
You got full credit for both of those wins, Floyd. That's why you became a superstar.
No, I did not.
Yes,
no,
you
I
did.
did not. No,
sure
I did
you
not.
did. From
are
me,
you gonna
I
let
gave
me
you full
speak my
credit.
piece?
If you're talking to me
am
now,
I gonna
I
speak
gave
my
you
piece?
full credit for that.
Am I gonna speak my piece or not?
Go
am
ahead.
I gonna speak my piece or not?
Go ahead.
Okay, because you want to interview me. I ain't interviewing you. You want to talk to me. I don't worry about talking.
Floyd,
you want to talk
go
to
ahead.
me.
I'm waiting on you.
Really, this kind of sums up a lot of what we hear in interviews. Really, just the same questions being asked over and over again, a lot of lingo, a lot of jargon. There's not really anything compelling for the interviewee to grab hold of and really ask any questions. They're just filled with cliches. And, until we can break free of offering questions in cliche, we're not going to really be able to get responses that aren't cliched. This is another perfect example of that, of really thinking about how does the question come across to the person who you're interviewing. And if it doesn't come across in a way that would make them want to expand on their answer, you're going to be lost. And really these questions, I don't know about you, but it kills me to listen to them. I feel embarrassed both for the person doing the interview and the interviewee. So, let's think about how we can do sports interviews. And some of them are going to be more organic and helpful. This one-on-one interview, here's an example of Bruce Jenner's interview with ABC with Diane Sawyer. Great one-on-one interview. The cameras were rolling, but we got a lot of really strong questions, a lot of thought, a lot of, ability for Bruce Jenner, in this case, of course, before becoming Caitlyn Jenner, to expand on questions. And that's what we want from our sources. This is not the most comfortable, this pregame environment, but you can still ask questions that are more insightful and allow for your interview subject to get their teeth into things. Now, the post game, you're kind of stuck. I mean, you're going to have a few minutes. There's a lot of emotion, but you really need to think about what's the potential for your question to go well or badly. And of course, we know this interview after the Seahawks won the Super Bowl did not go as well as it could have. And then the press conference, where you're going to ask a question in front of a lot of people, and it's got to be a question that is going to be useful, but isn't necessarily going to get you the kind of in-depth response. But you got to try to break free. The goal for all of us is really to get this. It's an excellent question. And if your interview subject says, well, that's an excellent question, or no one's asked me that before, now you've done something really important.